So what I think the most important part about Palworld is, for a casual gamer coming in, is the options. So when I start a game and I create a world and I go to custom world settings, this is, of all the things you hear about Palworld, this is the most important thing, because this is what will decide your gameplay. So you go to change world settings, and then you'll go to custom settings. And once you're in the custom settings, it's a whole ball game right here. It's a sandbox of fun. Options and options and options of options. How you know, server options, really, you know? Anything from how many pals you can have in your base. You can have up to 50 if your system can support it. You can have up to 10 bases max. So up to 10 bases max, but you have to choose it, otherwise it's in the default, which is like 3. And then for pals it's like what, 20? But you can move that up to 50. You can move the bases up to 10. You can move your guilds up. You have your whether you die, you can have the options whether if you die you have no drops. When it comes to your eggs, you have multipliers on incubation time. You could turn it, like I did, to 0. The moment you put an egg in the incubator, it's ready to hatch. Drop multiplier. You're having trouble finding items from certain bosses? Well, up the drop item multiplier so there's a bigger chance. Same thing with the gatherable items. How long, anything from how long items stay in the biome. From it'll also go into things like structure deterioration and multiplier. A lot of Ark fans, people that probably came into this game were Ark fans, and survival games are like, you know about structure deterioration. Well, you can just zero that the hell out just by default. You can modify your hunger levels, your stamina. You're tired of running out of stamina on your mount. You're sick of it. You're like, and you don't want to farm for the new materials to increase your stamina, or farm for the ability to increase your stamina by 50% on your pal through breeding. Well, guess what? Lower the rate, as I do, to the lowest point, 0.1. Damage to you, the damage you put out, those are some important ones. If you're someone that's squishy, if you're a glass cannon, if you're someone that dies a lot or you have issues, you get, you know, there's, you know, maybe you up, well, if you're like me and you increase the option of mobs, so mobs, the more mobs in more group mobs appear in higher multipliers. So instead of like 1 or 2 or 3, we're talking about like maybe 6 or 9 popping up mobs. It can get more difficult, but you can lower the damage that you're taking, and you can also increase the damage that you're giving, and you can do that for yourself and for pals. There's so many options that you can do right then and there to make your game fun, your experience better. And it's through the custom options. So again, there was the damage from you, even to other players. If you do like the PvP stuff or whatever, you can have fun with that. Damage to pals, you can do how much damage they're putting out, how much damage you're able to give. You don't have to play the game on the hardest difficulty. You don't have to go legendary. You know what I mean? You can have an enjoyable experience. You can have fun. You can increase your XP rate, or you can make it harder. You could also use all these settings to make the game harder too. You can increase how fast the day and night time go by. Say you don't want to wait for 3 days or a whole day for a boss to appear. You know, just make it quick. Make it quick, especially if you're farming bosses and stuff like that. So that is, in my opinion, is the biggest player experience, how should I say, like, decider of, like, if you're gonna enjoy this game based on the settings. So all casual players coming into it, even if you're crazy and you like the legendary stuff, like the difficulty, You can make the game harder too, but if you just want to have a fun, casual experience, you can make the game a lot easier and more fun. And this is why this is the most important thing about Palword. Not just in my opinion. I mean, it is by default. You can go on to the hard mechanics of the game with breeding, with Ivy, with weapons, the damage they do. Like most of the stuff, you can make it pretty easy from the custom settings. You get an idea of it all from the custom settings, honestly. But the other things are important, like with the metal merchants and dog coins, the in-game stuff. Again, with the Ivies, pet ranking, all that stuff. That is further detailed stuff, but this is what the game revolves around, is this setting. And that is what I think is the most important part to know of Palworld for anyone. So, yeah.